Okay, hello everybody. Here we are with my quite large hawthorn. You last saw it briefly when I was showing off the flowers, and it didn't flower any more than those few that it had, but that was its first year of flowering, so I'm quite pleased with that. I decided now it's time to cut it back. It's grown really well, as you can see by some of the tall straight shoots. It's a little bit deceiving as it looks at the moment, in that I have pre-wired all the branches prior to cutting them back, so which may seem a strange way of doing it, but I got this idea from a chap online called Tony Tickles. Some of you may be familiar with his work. He's a very clever chap, and he there's a video he did online somewhere. I couldn't find it when I was looking for it, but if you do a search, perhaps you'll be able to find it. Tony Tickles and Hawthorns, where he demonstrated a way of wiring the new shoots, putting in some movement before the wood hardens off, and then pruning back, which is what I'm attempting to do here. So let's move the camera in a bit closer. Now hopefully get the camera to focus so you can see that I have pre-wired some of these really long, and they are long wispy shoots, put some movement in, and now it's just a question of the normal pruning to an outward facing bud in the direction that I want, like so. And keeping my eye obviously on these branches, making sure that the wire doesn't cut in too much, as the wood hardens off quite quickly on a hornbeam. They have become quite rigid and quite difficult to cut back, not to cut back, to get any movement in, because the branches get quite brittle once they've hardened off. But they're extremely pliable, unlike other species that you might work with. If you try and bend new shoots like this, they just snap, whereas a hawthorn, if I can get my words out, it's very forgiving, and you can put all sorts of bends and shapes into it. As you can see, you could even do a loop-de-loop. Can you see? Yeah, you can even do a loop-de-loop on a branch whilst they're in this soft state, and they will take it. So yeah, basically I'm just manoeuvring around this tree, and I've wired these long shoots, and then I'm just pruning them back. I want to get some more movement, which I will now get, and I want to get some ramification. So okay, so that's pretty much it for that branch. I've got a long lower shoot. No, I haven't bothered to wire. It's growing straight downwards from the base of this branch. I'm going to cut that off. I'm perhaps a little bit too close for you now. Let's move the camera back a little. No, it's still hard for you to make out, but that's going to go. So I'm going to cut that off flush. I can get my scissors round it. Try not to get in the way of the camera. That's better. Right, okay, so that's gone completely. Some of these I might try and root. Okay, so moving up to this branch. Moving up, not down. Again, I've pre-wired the branches that I want to move into the position I want them to be in, and it's just a question then of cutting them back to where I want them. Now, I did have some comments on why I've got the branches on this hawthorn drooping in the way that they do, and my answer to that when I first read the comment was, well, because that's the way I like it, but also when I put this bend into this trunk, that automatically caused this branch to fan down into this shape, which I liked, and I'm then trying to mirror as I work my way around the tree. So yeah, basically, but the answer is still because I like it, I suppose. Okay, staying with this side of the tree, moving up a little further. I've wired these branches together, and I'm just going to cut back these extra lengths, and hopefully we'll get some buds popping in here, and I'll start to get a branch ramification in this area. Now, looking at the front of the tree approximately now, so continuing on to the apex, got a back branch here which is just a single branch at the moment, but I want get rid of that, and that will hopefully, again, buds will pop, and a small branch in this area similarly here. So you can see the growth is quite strong. In this top section here is well, this piece in particular is well over a foot, possibly even 18 inches to the tip, way up there. So this will be my apex, this is my leader. I'm going to prune that back to this bud here, and this branch I decided I wasn't going to keep, so I'm going to prune that out flush with the trunk, or pretty much flush. And again, this long straight piece going straight up has a single branch coming off here which I've wired, and I'm going to keep. I'm going to shorten slightly. Bear with me. I'm going to take this off as well. This tool's almost too big, but just there, that's better. And now I can shorten this one. We can work our way down the tree here at the back. So again, wired this, put some movement into it, and just pruning back to a bud pointing in this direction. Hopefully this will form a little branch here, fill in, and likewise another branch in this direction. I actually want to shorten that one a bit more, keep this one a little bit longer. I don't want the branches to be identical lengths, looks too artificial if you do that. So coming down the tree, oops, just shortening, again wired, put in some movement, shorten. It works a treat for this species. As I say, if you saw my cascade video, I had to leave a section of the apple in particular rather than try and wire it whilst it was fresh and young, because I knew it would snap if I even tried to put some shape into it until the wood is hardened off a little bit. These are almost exactly the opposite. They will take the shape whilst they're fresh, but don't take it so well as the branches harden off. So just cutting back. Some branches like this one I was happy with the movement I already had. Others not so much. Okay, and obviously some of these branches, because they're freshly wired, the leaves are still facing in the wrong direction, which makes the tree look a little bit unkempt at the moment, but a couple of days in the sun and the leaves will turn to face it, and they won't look like they've been tipped upside down, which is effectively what they have been. Okay, so moving around to this side of the tree again. Trying to see where I'm pointing the camera at the same time. Just cutting back, bringing the tree back into form. Lower the camera down. Sorry, I was practicing at this and it's quite jerky, and I do apologise. So cut back there, there, there. Let's put a little bit more movement in that, and this piece there. Okay, this piece I've got here, this is growing straight up, which I don't want at all. I'm just going to lose the whole thing. Back to the main branch. I leave a little bit of a stump, but that can be cleaned up in the winter time or early next spring. Okay, so just continuing on round, last few now. Okay, so another one sticking straight up there. Get rid of that and back to the front. So there's the tree cleaned up, looking better, I feel. Let's move up the trunk. There's a couple of pieces growing out of the front of the trunk, one there which I'll get rid of, and another piece in this internal space here which I want to get rid of, and a branch just up here likewise I want to see the back of. Okay, and this piece, just so I've got a clear branch. You can see that there is a branch coming out of the trunk, and this is that branch, and that's it for pretty much for this tree. So let's move the camera back out, try not to be too wobbly so that you can get a better sight of it. Full screen. Yeah, it's possibly a little bit congested still on the right hand side, so I may need to, let's move back in and see if we can't do, I may just remove this section that's obscuring the trunk a little bit, and that piece. I think that actually helps a little bit with the balance of this tree. Shorten that back. Okay, and similarly, I'm going to lose that branch there. Yes, I think that, helps not inconsiderably in balancing up this tree. So yeah, that's all for this tree for today. So thank you all for watching, and as usual, please take care of yourselves.